She worked in the civil service for many years.
Okay.
But she trained as a chemist in her early days when I met her. And then we had the children.
Yeah, how many?
Two daughters.
Right.
Yeah, so I have 3 grandchildren. So we're doing okay. But yeah, we retired, and gardening was Shirley's main interest.
Right, okay.
She likes her gardening very much so. So we're just like any retired couple getting on in a bit. What happened was I was sat on the settee and Shirley was speaking to my other daughter, and I noticed her speech had gone and she was getting very... the speech was going, and I looked at her and I could see her face changing and she was collapsing. So if I had gone to the shops, which I'd planned to do, maybe I would have found her dead here. As it was, the ambulance came very, very quickly. We got her into hospital quickly. Unfortunately, Shirley suffers from high blood pressure, so they couldn't give her the shot buster or the clog buster, whatever it is. In good time, they had to wait, otherwise they might have killed her instead of saved her. So the end result was that she has brain failure on the right side or her left side, but she's paralysed on the right side, can't speak. They came here very quickly once I'd been on the phone, and Shirley was taken directly into Doncaster Hospital, straight into emergency care, or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
And by the time I'd got there, they were doing all the tests, and she was in X-rays and whatever they were doing. But I can't. No, they've been absolutely brilliant. And then it was just a question of getting her stabilised, waiting for her to respond, I suppose, to whatever they were giving her. And it's a question of wait and see. But she was so far gone, she wasn't able to respond really. They kept her there about 5 weeks. And so the nurses were great, dedicated nurses. Ask them a question and they give you an answer and explain. Prior to the discharge from the hospital, there was a meeting of the consultants in the various departments, the physios, the social services and things like that, to try and decide what was best for Shirley. And we had that meeting. I indicated I wanted her to be at home, and all that was arranged. So home she came, still very, very poorly. And for a few weeks she slept most of the time. So you just had to wait and see. And eventually, she begins to improve and get stronger. In the meantime, then you're going through all this business of I have to feed her 6 times a day through a drip feed directly into her stomach. But you get into the routine, and initially the routine was fairly easy because there wasn't much I could do other than feed her, and the carers came in each day. She has full-time carers coming in 8 times a day because she can't do anything for herself. And then district nurses come in, the doctor comes in. So all the support services were there, and I'm truly amazed at what they've done. The support's been great. If I have problems, because Shirley still has a residual chest problem, and they worry about that in case it goes into the lung and whatnot, and I don't hesitate to phone the doctors, and the doctors will phone me back and say what's the problem, and then they'll decide whether to come and check her out, which they invariably do. I remember thinking after about, October, February maybe, I began to relax more because I wasn't getting as many officials coming in, if you like, to say we're going to do this, we're going to do that, and things began to settle down. I found I had to get to bed early. No late night watching telly, I get up about 5 o'clock because I have to feed her by 6, start the feeding anyway. So I get early nights in, but I'm getting used to those now.
Right.
Partly because fast asleep 5 minutes after I get into bed, I think. My day is fairly organised or structured, in the sense that I have to do what I have to do. But I do have periods where I can watch the telly. Shirley's asleep. She sleeps in the morning usually, so I can get on with the chores, the pots and laundry and washing and things, and I'm acquiring new life skills which I never had before. But yeah, my day is full, but not uninteresting, no. Don't forget I'm now in my late 70s, so you retire and you take it, your rhythm, the rhythm takes a different thing, doesn't it? So I don't feel as if I'm giving up much. Not golf I used to play, but other than that, I can go to the shops when the carers come, and I keep, the neighbours and things. So there's a social contract. I'm not in a big house on my own type of thing. No. The change for me is the caring side of me, if you like, has been brought forward. It must have been always there, but not to the extent it is. And I do get pleasure out of doing this. Well, for weeks she was just lying there and
sort of switched off, really.
Switched off, and you'd see her face moving, as if the brain's, you knew there was activity going on inside her head, as it were, but took weeks for it to come out, and and she slowly comes out of the coma or whatever it is she was in. She understands what we say, and she knows who we are, so that's the good side. Temperamentally, she's very good, so that makes life easy for me. Because if I'm having problems understanding what she's trying to tell, in the end we end up giggling and start again, because we have a system of, do you want me to do this, do you want me to do that? And she can nod her head or shake her head. So we get through it that way. But the consultants did say that the brain's a very funny thing. There's no reason to hope that she won't improve, but right now she's trying to find new pathways in the brain so that she can start functioning. And Shirley had the stroke in September, didn't speak until May the 4th. And on May the 4th, my other daughter, who lives away, rang up as she does every day, and I said, it's Jennifer's birthday today, Shirley. And Shirley said, and sang happy birthday in perfect rhythm and everything. That was the first time she ever spoke. That was quite something. Right. So, anybody watching, get them to sing songs. I spoke to the doctor about this, and the doctor said, I spoke to the speech therapist too, and she said, well, it's not unusual for people to have strokes but still retain these very deep embedded memories and things. And she said, yes, they'll sometimes sing. We're now on to nursery rhymes, and so slowly getting the rhythm of that, aren't you? Yep.
Do you find that supporting new words and?
Yes, the speech therapist was here this week, and she gives us exercises to do, and they're all there for a reason. The exercises, recognition and sort of understanding the connection between what you want and what you say, and it's coming back slowly. But she can't talk properly yet. She knows lots of words, but hasn't got the connecting bit going. But we're getting that. Well, one of the carers was saying to me that her granddad had a very similar stroke to what Shirley's had, and it took 2 years, but now he's standing up, he can move, he's not paralysed anymore. So, you take that on board and hope that Shirley will be moving in that direction. I mean, the right side, and she understands what we're saying, and she'll be querying in some sort of fashion when you've gone, what was all that about? But the side that is paralysed, she has. I have to exercise the legs every day, and that leg that was nothing there, couldn't move, now is very flexible. So I'm seeing signs that maybe the brain will eventually get the idea what it's supposed to do. So I'm optimistic. I'm optimistic. My cup is always half full. But you know, if I need anything, I know I can ask for it and get it.
Yeah.
You know, nobody's ever given up. And in the early days, you just didn't know what was going to happen. But nobody ever gives up. Never give up hope, all right? And try and pass that. Well, just try and pass it on with what you do.
Yeah.
Shirley was so poorly. I sleep down here. I bought this Steve bed so that if I'm here,
Yes.
the thought of sleeping upstairs and her being poorly just I couldn't do that. So that was good. And she always knows that we're around, so she's secure. She knows that we're here for her, and she hasn't got the anxiety of whatever you might be going through. And that's her anchor, if you like. And we just do it. And, you know, it's a pleasure to, you know, we have our little moments, don't we, sweet? Yeah. Me and you. When Jennifer rang up that day when it was her birthday, do you remember that? What did you say?
Just good.
No, you didn't. You said, happy
Birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
happy birthday
to you.
And that was beautiful, wasn't it?
Yeah.